Alright, welcome back to Metal Heroes Review episode 116. We're here reviewing episodes 40 to 43 of the series. Yep. Now, in these four episodes, it's not exactly a debuts per se. So, here's kind of what happens in the course of these four episodes. In 40, this is another episode where, okay, so it starts out with basically, his sister's coming to town, he's going to pick up next morning, goes to sleep, wakes up, like, wait, it's just 2 a.m.? Goes back to sleep, wakes up 2 hours later, like, oh crap, it's actually midnight, like, wait. Yeah, turns out basically clocks and mess with, and apparently it's screwed up all of Tokyo because of this, and turns out behind this is Queen Cosmo. And apparently that the Bylon uses opportunity to rob a bank. With Queen Cosmo, of course. I thought this was interesting. See her running downstairs is interesting because here's the weird thing. A lot of the time when you see her throughout the series, she's usually by herself on the ground. She pops to a place. First time I see her actually, run. They break in. It's not shown stealing anything per se. And just by sheer coincidence, Bella Kyo's name was Anko, where she sees him robbing. Of course, she found a little dog. But she came to town because her pigeon ended up in Tokyo for reasons. So her brother shows up at the train stop late. She's not there. And I'll go visit her brother's station. And well, lots of stuff happened here, and it turns out this is done by her moon power, which makes basically a pyramid. Eventually the thing is destroyed by Yoko. Yeah, she's the one who destroys it. I found that to be interesting. And then once that's destroyed, they destroy the monster, and that's the episode. A quite interesting episode per se. Excuse me. Of course, first time she's been active in 3 episodes. In the case of 41, 41 basically is this. We introduce this one-shot character in this episode. You think, wait, a one-shot character? Yeah, basically a policewoman who's basically like a traffic cop who gets tangled in the events of this episode just by sheer coincidence. Yeah, and chases down a possible speeder, and she wants to become a detective. And kind of in a way, she does end up finding the scientist. Does she take it? I don't know, because she's not mentioned again after this. And the whole thing is one getting her hands on a virus, where apparently if alcohol is mixed into it, it causes her to go crazy. And at first in the episodes reveal she hates alcohol. And then apparently being sprayed with it caused her to like alcohol for some weird reason. First time actually I picked a bar in this show. Which I'm like, yeah, I found that to be interesting. Now, the only time I ever see a place like this type of bar, was actually in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That's the only series that I know of you see a place like this. Every other place, every time, basically, you don't really see it at all. Yeah, and by the end of the episode, Junko, that's the name of the officer, does not reappear again. Basically a one-shot character. In the case of episode 42, it's basically where, we have to have basically a monster who basically is part of the electricity, so send a catfish monster out to get the electricity. Yeah, and they attempt to make this monster, but by the end, the monster just disappears because the catfish monster is defeated. But a subplot of the episode, we have this rock band called the Kings wanting to get this basically a contract with a record company, and apparently their song to intimidate the monster actually gets them a contract. So win-win for them. Yeah. And excuse me. It's also the first and only time the whole series where you have an episode feature a monster who actually. It's the only time where 42 is the first and only one featured more than one monster, though the other monster wasn't active per se. Mm-hmm. And then the whole thing with episode 43, it's the return of Queen Cosmo, where the episode opens up on a very interesting note here. We see Dr. Gibba wearing a suit. I'm like, okay. And we see Queen Cosmo just walk up to him, give him a vial for a virus, and then she's off. You're thinking, what the heck? Yeah. It's kind of weird, the fact that it's like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me. So, and the whole thing is using this virus to kill Jiban. And they're using Yoko by infecting her with the virus to spread the Jiban, and the whole thing is basically focused on her a lot of this episode, which I found to be quite cool. And the fact that she did play, and also in this episode, her car gets destroyed. You know, the very same car that's been appearing in this series since like episode 2. It gets blown up in this episode trying to destroy the Coboroid. Eventually the monster's destroyed, they create a cure, and, well, in the case of Jiban, they create a vaccine for him to fix up him, but apparently the vaccine can't work for Yoko because it's meant for mechanics. So, what he does, he takes the venom sac from Coboroid and uses that to heal up Yoko. And that's pretty much what happens there. I like all the intensity that there is going in 43, where Yoko feels guilty of infecting Jiban, even though Jiban knows basically it was not technically her fault, she was being manipulated to, which I thought that was quite cool. I also like the fact that she loves rock and roll. We revealed that in episode 42. 41 basically was an interesting idea for a one-shot character who doesn't really not much anything at all. 40, it's like, yeah, let's go crazy with basically a bunch of clocks. But still, nothing bad here so far. It just, do I feel like in the case of the last episodes yesterday, do I feel like the episodes out of order for those? In the case of these, I would say no. These are perfectly fine in the order they basically aired it. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And there is roughly, like, at this point, roughly 9 more episodes left to go for the whole series. Yep, 9 more. Oh, and in just 5 episodes, by episode 48, there's an interesting factor when it comes to the 40th episode of this particular series. I'll talk about that 2 videos from now, because it is a quite interesting factor when it comes to this one. Excuse me. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Next up, more Jiban. Okay, next video.